know that Kim Kardashian came to Nigeria and she got like her simple dresses and she was like, oh, I wasn't prepared for this. Nigeria is quite interesting. I mean, we have like over 54 countries in the continent of Africa, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like 50 of it will not prepare you for Nigeria.
Really?
Yes.
Hey, friends. So it's been a while that I wanted to meet a fellow African lady, and Nigeria is a country that I want to visit, and I've been wanted to meet somebody from Nigeria to tell us more about this country. You know that one of my dream is to my goal more than a dream. My goal is to visit every country in Africa. So it's a lifelong goal. So I've decided that until I'm able to visit every single country, what I'm going to do is to interview one person per country to tell us all about their country. So the first video I'm going to do with Serah Donald, which is an amazing, intelligent Black woman, African woman, and is for her to tell us about a wonderful country, Nigeria. Nigeria usually have a bit of like a negative rap, in the media, etc. And I thought it was better to hear from somebody that's really from the country to tell us all about our country. We have several topics that we're going to talk about. So I'm going to cut those video in a little series that you don't want to miss. So the first one we're going to talk about, it's really to advise travelers about Nigeria. Is Nigeria for everyone? Is Nigeria is a place for solo traveler? Is the movies and the media tell us the truth about Nigeria? She will tell us all about that. So, without further ado, Serah Donald. Serah, thank you so much for being here and for accepting to do the interview with me. You are the
Thank
first
you.
Nigerian that I'm talking to. I
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm from Gabon and I wanted to meet a sister from West Africa. I did love West
Yeah.
Africa. I traveled to a few countries, but haven't been to Nigeria. So,
Okay.
before we start, can you please introduce yourself so our audience can get to know you?
Oh, okay. My name is Sarah. I'm from the West African part of Africa, which is Nigeria, and I'm a filmmaker, travel vlogger. I love. I moved back to Nigeria, so let's just say I'm an African advocate. Like move back to Africa advocate,
Yeah,
and
me too.
yeah, just so
Yeah,
many interesting things. Just a girl that loves living in Africa.
exactly. Sarah, I know the time is pressing. We have a lot to talk about. So we'll
Okay.
start with the first subject I want to talk to you about. But before that, let me ask you a very serious question that I wanted to ask to a West African. Who is doing the best jollof rice?
They said it started from Senegal, and good thing is I have been to Senegal, I
Yeah,
have been to Ghana,
yeah,
and I've tried Senegal jollof, I've tried Nigerian jollof, I've tried Ghana jollof, and to be honest, I would say for me Nigeria jollof, and that's just because it's something I've eaten all my life.
yeah,
I don't really think it's like a best thing. I think it's more like because even in Nigeria, there's some jollof that I eat. My mom's jollof is my best. You get
yeah.
what I mean? So I would say the taste bud I'm used to is Nigeria.
Okay, I had to tease you about that
I
because
know.
wherever you go, I went to Senegal, I went to Ghana, like we have the best, we have the best. I'm like,
Yeah.
never mind. But everyone has the best, it's fine, but it tastes amazing anyway. So
Exactly.
yeah. Okay, now that out of the way, the first segment I wanted to talk to you about because my channel is a travel channel
Mm-hmm.
and also, but like my focus is on Africa. I'm from Gabon. I love the continent. And my goal is to visit every country in Africa.
Hmm.
So I thought to myself, before doing that, how about asking somebody from each country, starting with you, Nigeria. It's one of the countries that I want to visit. I was in Benin and I wanted to go to Nigeria, but I was like, I don't want to go just for 2 days. Let me organize a trip for Nigeria because Nigeria needs my full attention. So, to start with, would you say that Nigeria, for somebody who visits Africa for the first time, what should they expect? Do you think it's for first time travelers to Africa?
Um, good question. First time travelers to Africa. I would say Nigeria is quite interesting. I mean, we have like over 54 countries in the continent of Africa, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like 50 of it will not prepare you for Nigeria.
Really?
Yes.
That's
I think
interesting. Tell me.
Nigeria has like a world of its own.
Okay.
I feel like we are different.
Okay.
We are interesting the way we do our things. Example, like you would think like the pandemic, right? The most critical thing, people just have a way of laughing about things.
Yeah.
So we smile and laugh. You come on the streets and you will see people who are poor, who haven't eaten, who are on the streets, and they're just so full of life. And
Yeah.
because we just have a way of making things out of everything. And then Nigeria as a whole is a country I think wasn't planned for, because even within the same country we have too many tribes.
Yeah.
So every tribe, it's now like has its own food, people. So I'm happy you said that you didn't want to just come for 2 days, because that's not how to experience Nigeria. So
Yeah.
example, I'm from the Igbo speaking part of Nigeria. We love to They say we love to make money and we turn everything into a business. And then you meet someone like me, then you meet someone from like from the north, who are more very content people, very soft spoken. They just want to be able to eat, sleep, like the basics, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like even I discover Nigeria every time I meet someone from a different tribe. So I would say for a first time traveler, you really, really, really need to come with an open mind.
Yeah.
Like that's what
Yeah.
I would say, because if you come with an like I went to Zanzibar and Zanzibar was so calm, and that's what I
Really? I
wanted at
didn't
that time.
know.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
wanted. I wanted like the village life, because
Yeah.
Nigeria is like too many things can happen in one
Fast
minute. Like
pace.
you
Yeah.
come to the airport, almost like 10 people are trying to help you with your luggage. And like
Wow.
it's a lot. You have to be like, hold
Yeah.
up, because at the end of the day, they're gonna be like, ah, mama, where's my money? I helped you. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have to like have that full attention. So it really depends on where you're coming from. If you're coming from America, you're coming from like New York, and or you might get the vibe of like Lagos. But if you're coming from like a very calm place where things are slow, you will like it will shake you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
You know, when you talk to Nigeria, it remind me of Cameroon a lot. Cameroon is like at first when I just arrived, because I grew up in France. So I was a bit lost. I needed to reconnect with my roots. And I arrived at the airport and people took my luggage. And I thought, well, they work for the airport, they're helping. No, no,
No.
no. People will be like, hey, la mère, where's the money? Where's the money? So yeah, I understand that. But thank you. So, you said that you are a filmmaker, right? And a
Yeah.
lot of us know Nigeria through Naja
Movie.
movies, and you have some great movies. Uh, so, is it realistic? Because usually it's very flashy, very nice, very. Is that what we can expect when we come in Lagos or Abuja, the main?
Okay, you know that Kim Kardashian came to Nigeria and she got like her simple dresses and she was like, "Oh, I wasn't prepared for this."
Oh, I didn't know
So
that. I don't watch TV. Tell me. So
yeah, so
Kim
it,
Kardashian
it's
came to Nigeria.
yes, and she bought like her simple clothes, because apparently she probably doesn't watch Nigerian films. So
Yeah,
yes, the flash, the exaggerated, everything is exaggerated. The wedding is over the top. The the graduation, everything about us is like over the top. I mean,
Right.
we don't have those whole prince and queen like the way it is in the movie, where
Yeah.
people are throwing flowers for the queen. No.
y-
But like, yes, in Abuja, like it's flashy. People like flashy cars, people like big cars, things like that. So it's
Right.
especially the big cities, yeah, it can
Yeah.
really be like people dress up to go to the salon like they're going somewhere else. And you're
Wow.
like,
You know, I was like my mouth open because I'm like, okay, I need to make sure that I have a nice t-shirt or nice top
yes,
or something, a dress when I come there. Wow. Okay,
yeah.
that's really nice. So would you say, Nigeria has a bad rap generally, whenever you say you want to go to, people will go to Ghana, people will go to like all the West, but don't come to Nigeria because they think of safety. But I've seen many people who travel to Nigeria and who enjoy it and have the most amazing time in Nigeria. What would you say about safety for solo traveler? Would you advise, like, I'm preparing my trip to Nigeria, but I'm an African, right? But it could be also people wanting to come to Nigeria. Would you say it's a safe, can you travel solo? Is it safe?
I think, to be honest, Nigeria is one of the places that has the safest solo travel. And I know like
Oh,
that's shocking coming from Nigeria, but the problem with Nigeria is the outsiders and we ourselves as Nigerians. And I feel like that's part of why I started my YouTube channel.
yeah.
We are that heavy target where there is like an isolated incident and they make it look like that's what's happening. If you
Mm,
think about Detroit in America, right?
yeah.
That's how Nigeria is. Like it has areas that obviously insecurity is higher, in those areas. But
Yeah.
they make you look like you're just walking on the road. Like yesterday, I went out, I came back at 2 a.m. Obviously, we have like, and thank God for technology because right now we have like Ubers where you can go into Uber and
Oh,
share your ride.
excellent. You have
Yeah, so
Uber.
things, yeah, we
Okay.
have Uber, we have
Mhm.
lag ride, so these things kind of like, sharing your locations and having these services just also makes it easier than before when they didn't account for a taxi driver. You just flag a taxi driver on the road. So yes, some cities are pretty much safer than the others, and that's it. Like everybody does their due diligence. But to be honest, Nigeria is not a place where you're coming to and you're like, oh, I need to be prepared. Oh, they'll kidnap me. They'll do this like this. And I keep telling people that kidnap is a business. Like, who is going to like it's a business, right? So even with a business, you're coming with like a certain amount of money, and people just say if you go to the street of Nigeria, they won't the kidnappers even want to know what they can get from you.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Now,
Yeah.
places like Lagos that has like traffic, I mean, how are they taking you? They just make like we have a lot of expats here. People walk around freely. And like I said, even in the north, I know a YouTuber, I think she probably moved to Kaduna or Kano, and she's been making amazing videos because even in the north, it's just like obviously there are certain areas that have insecurities, right? And they will just like insecurities and they'll be like, oh, the entire Nigeria. No,
I
I mean, I
love
live
that.
in Lagos. I live in
Yeah.
Enugu. In Lagos, I can stay out till like 2, 3. I go to Enugu. I am back earlier, not because it's not safe, but because it's more of a family calm place. So at 8, 9, people are already in their homes. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's it. It's not a place. We have hotels. We have like from Marriott, Golden Tulip. These are 5-star hotels. I mean, they will rob you faster in Paris than in Nigeria. And I'm saying this
Wow.
on nationality. Yeah, you don't
Thank
hear stories
you.
like that, that someone
Yeah.
came to the airport and they robbed them. Like I said, of course, we make our own personal, you try to be careful. The other day I forgot something in an Uber and I text the app and they brought it for me. But some people like to
Wow.
play smart. So when they enter the Uber, they were like, oh, I want to do off ride, meaning the Uber driver wants to cancel and
Yeah.
pretend like so that you can pay him off pocket.
Oh, yeah.
So it doesn't register. So when you do things like that and you forget something or you're in trouble, Uber can't track it.
Exactly. So you're putting yourself at risk. Yeah.
Thank you. But
Yeah.
when something happens, you don't say, oh, I put myself, at risk. So it's just the normal, like I will go to VI, Lekki, and I can vlog holding my phone. That's safer than vlogging in Bond Street in London now. I mean, the phone thefts in the UK, we know how it is.
Yeah,
So, but
yeah,
there are also areas like I'll not go to like Agege at night or Mushin, and before I even bring out my phone, they'll snatch it from me.
yeah. But you know what you explain is everywhere in the world. Like you
Exactly.
just have to be aware of your surrounding and have that normal safety measure than you will take anywhere, you
Yeah,
know? Okay, I really
exactly.
love this, because I wanted to
Exactly.
hear from somebody from Nigeria. And the reason why I wanted to talk to you as well is because you lived in the UK and you lived in
Yeah.
America. So
Yes.
you can compare, and you've traveled, you also traveled a lot.
Yes.
So meaning that you can compare what's happening elsewhere to your own country. I love that. You've just gave me permission. I already knew that I would come, but
Yeah.
now, I will definitely organize that.
Oh.
People like myself, I know more about Lagos and Abuja, and these are the most
Mhm.
touristy place. Is
Yes.
there like other city, like maybe less visited by tourists in Nigeria that are really worth going to, like with a beach or whatever?
That are good or not good.
Good, yes. Like
Oh,
instead of Lagos and Abuja, which other place would you recommend for a first-time traveler to come? Maybe because it's less visited.
okay. I'll say places like Jos.
Jos. Okay.
Yeah, Jos is actually cold.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
and people don't know. And the weather is clean, is fresh. Like it
Oh,
smells clean. Yeah, and
all right.
there are places like Abeokuta.
Okay.
If you're a very like if you like history
Yeah.
and stuff like this, yes, these are places that like you will um definitely have a different feel of Nigeria. And it's
Excellent.
yeah,
I
yeah,
would ask you later on to please send me a message with the names because I may not
definitely.
know how to spell it, and I will add it
Okay,
in the description for the people to see. I want to
okay.
spend a month, like, traveling around because Nigeria is big. So I really
Mm-hmm.
would love to take my time and really visit and appreciate my
Yeah.
time there. Okay, excellent. So now, when you visit for the first time, right? In terms of food, transportation, you already said that Uber, which is great. So is like the bus, public transportation, is it easy? Is it available
Okay.
in like Lagos, Abuja,
Lagos.
let's say, for the biggest city?
Okay. To be honest, for someone coming from, you're coming from the UK, I
Yeah.
would say like the public transportation right now, it's not convenient.
Okay.
And I'm
Okay.
really, these are the things that we are pushing. And I know that even the Lagos state government is working towards that. They're ensuring that because a lot of them are private. And when these companies are private, we run a free market in Nigeria, right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
those
Yeah.
are the things. Yeah. So when you enter things like BRT bus, BRT, this is a Lagos state owned transportation. It's clean, it's safe, and they have cameras. So even when there was an
Okay.
incident, just like you said, like any other place, they were able to pull out the cameras, and the lady got her justice. God bless her. So and we have the train as well. We have trains.
You have the
Yeah.
train.
Yes,
Okay.
I mean, some people came and they were like, "This train is cleaner than the train in New York." There's a train in
Wow.
Lagos.
I've seen
Yeah,
it. I've seen it on videos. So the line
yeah.
is what? What's the train
They
lines?
have the blue line and the red line. So a
Okay.
lot of people who work outside Lagos now, some of them just come Friday, they go to their homes and meet their family. And also, there's a train. I think is like from Kaduna to Lagos or something like that. But I know a lot of people use those trains, but it's not a lot of them. So we are hoping that other states can, adapt this style. But in terms
Yeah.
of like the regular buses, until the government changes that to the buses we have in the UK. And I'm glad you asked that because part of my culture shock moving to LA was I was in the UK. I was used to getting into a bus because the buses are clean, they're
Yes.
reliable. And I
Yes.
went to LA and I was like, oh my God, everyone is driving. It takes
Yeah.
like 20, 30 minutes for a bus to come. Some areas
Oh,
don't even have, that sort of thing. So if for someone coming from the UK with that reliable, no, I would say, get a taxi or rent a car. We have
Yeah.
car rentals as well.
Yeah.
You
Or
can
use a
use.
Uber or Yango. I mean, Yango's
Yeah,
can yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
That's excellent. Thank you. And so when it comes to food, so I know most African countries have a variety of food. What typical apart from the jollof that people should try? I know we have to try
Okay.
the jollof, right? But
Yeah. And I think that's like one of the most beautiful things about Nigeria is that even I haven't tried all the food. Like yesterday, I had afang soup, which is typically like Akwa Ibom food. So the person that gave it to me was from Akwa Ibom. So yes, we have the egusi soup, we have the pounded yam, not the one, the poundo in the bag, no, the actual one that they pounded by themselves fresh.
wow,
Yes,
okay.
like in Lagos, you can't come to Lagos and not try amala.
Amala.
Yes, amala is like a Lagos food, and then we have like the abacha. So every place you go, you have different kinds of food. So it depends on where you are. So if you're in Lagos, definitely you have to try the eba and swallow. We have one of the best suya, but I must warn you,
Oh, the
Nigerian,
one of the best soya. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
Nigerian
Yeah.
foods are very spicy.
All right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
for someone like me that I have IBS, my stomach easily irritates me. I do not try street food on the street because
Okay.
those ones are made like if you go to like a Chicken Republic or the place, these are fast food restaurants like KFC. So they
Yeah.
make mass food,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so if it's that is spicy because they made it assuming that everybody in the country likes spicy. So for
Yeah.
me, I typically spend more on food because I have to go to restaurants like high-end restaurants, and that way you're able to tell them you don't want spice because they are making it a la carte, like specially for you.
Yes.
So
Yes.
those restaurants now have, like the other day, I wanted to eat amala. If I eat it on the streets, I will be in trouble. So with
Yeah.
that, I tried it like in a restaurant, and it didn't hurt me because, of course, they didn't use all the whole ingredients, like a lot of spice. So the only difference is that I bought it like 20, like in dollars, like $20, when I could have had it for like $2.
Oh yeah, I can see. Oh wow, like you're paying 10 times more
Yeah.
than eating the typical street food. Yeah, I had to learn to eat street food in Cameroon and know how to
Oh,
choose it. Yeah, and the good thing is, it's true what you say. Usually they put a lot of chili, but what they do in Cameroon, they will put the chili aside and they put it
right.
on your meat. You know, if you don't
Oh,
want it, you say you don't want it, so you can have it without chili. So
oh, nice.
all right. So, for someone coming from either the West or even from somebody like me who has never been to Nigeria, what would be the culture shock do you think that the person will have coming? What would be the most thing
Okay,
that you come and you're like, wow, okay, yeah,
okay. Well, there's a lot of it, but I'll give an example. Like when I was working, I have a colleague that is from Cameroon, and you in Cameroon, for example, I mean, they're French people. You grew up in France, so the way the French behave, they can go to work at 9 and then they are done at 2. But in Nigeria, that was such a shock because Nigerians are workaholics. You
yeah,
have to literally say no. Like you have to, if you're coming for work, you have to create those boundaries. If not, you're going to be working from when you wake up till when you go.
no,
A typical Nigerian knows that this store closes at 8, and then they're walking into the store at 8 to go
no,
buy something. And like a lady made reference, she said in Ghana they will close, but that the Nigerians in Ghana will start opening their shop again, even though they have closed. So
right,
yes, work-life balance. And then Nigerians are fast. I mean,
yeah,
like the way they talk is like in an attack way, but they're not attacking you. But it's like we're having conversations, and most times you have to come up and be like, "Sorry, I thought you guys were fighting."
yeah,
I think that's like a lot of black people do. We
yeah,
talk with like our hands and
yeah,
everything. And it's just how sometimes, to be honest, the negative part of it is just how lackadaisical some people can be when you're in a hurry.
okay,
like it can really be like if you're working, for example, I know that my colleagues, especially the one from Cameroon, was frustrated. Like, why do I have to micromanage you? And things like that. Like she didn't get it because she was like, where I'm coming from, I just say do this and it's done. But it's like you have to be on, like sit on people's head to be
Yeah.
sure it's getting done. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's like what I said in one of my videos. The Uber guys will try to say things like, oh ma, do you want to do offline? And I'm like,
Mm.
no, they'll try to always and hide the price if you've not checked the internet on what this thing could be. Like they just look at you and you're like, you're a foreigner, and they're like, oh, foreigner is 20,000, but because you've checked it online, you're like, no, sir, it's 5,000. Oh, that
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that. So no, it's because again we run a free, except you go into the supermarket because the supermarkets also have, and then when you already have their prices, so when you come into a store, you can be shocked because in the UK the sales girl is standing, but if I
Yeah.
come into a store in Nigeria and somebody is sitting, good afternoon, ma, how may we help you? And she's still sitting,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
know,
Okay. Yeah.
or she's sleeping, and you wake her and she's like, how much? I mean, like in the UK, you'll be fired.
Yeah.
So for people
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that come like that, yeah, you will see
Customer
things like,
service is something, and I've seen that in one of your videos.
oh,
It's a video on its own. Customer
yes, it's
service
done.
in Africa, and
In
like whether it's
Africa,
West
it's
or
not a
Central.
Nigerian thing.
No,
Yeah,
it's something else. We have a
Africa.
lot to do and work to do on that. And you know
Yes,
what you were saying about the culture shock about people in the work balance, etc. It's true that the French francophone part of Africa, I don't know, they took from the colonizers,
the
right?
colonial. Yes,
Yes, and you see the difference with the anglophone part, you hard worker and
yes.
etc. It's not that the French aren't hard worker, but the life, when you were saying working until 8, I'm like, what? Mm-mm. Uh-uh,
Mm-mm.
uh-uh, uh-uh.
Yeah,
I know, no.
no,
I need my break.
exactly.
I need my holidays. I need to leave. I'm not interested
Yeah.
to work like
So I feel
America.
like
Yeah.
you're right. You have two part of them because I had two colleagues. I had one who lived in Paris and one who lived in Cameroon. The one who lives in Cameroon is a workaholic,
Mm-hmm.
but the Paris one is like, why is this meeting for 8 a.m.? Like, why not 9? Like she was so over, like
Yeah.
her head and the stress.
That that is
Yeah.
great. Sarah, so is there some travel do's and don't in Nigeria? When you arrive in Nigeria, is there any etiquette, things to avoid? How to greet people. Is there something that you should know when you arrive in Nigeria?
Oh, nice. Okay, so I like that because I know that a lady in the UK lost her job because they told her she was sleeping and she said, I'm sorry, but I wasn't. And she later realized that it was because she kept saying, I am sorry. So in Nigeria, right, we say I am
Oh.
sorry when you're not even at fault.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you might see someone like on the floor and you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. So like, you're like, you didn't hit me, so why are you the one saying I am sorry? So yes, they are very polite. We greet, good morning, good afternoon, like that. But one thing I love about Nigerians as well, or let's say Lagos, Abuja, it's like because we are developing, it's open. So usually they forgive foreigners. So as a
Okay.
Nigerian, I can't meet if I meet my elder and I'm like, hi, they'll be like, are you Nigerian? Yes.
Okay.
Oh, they expect me to say good afternoon. But once you're a foreigner, it's forgiving. So yes, it's not
Okay.
when they're like, oh, you must kneel down. No, no. But I mean, if you're going to see a king, whoever is taking you to see the king will definitely expect the protocol.
Yeah.
When we see, people higher, we tend to like, go a bit on the knee, like you bend a bit to greet. But that's what I love about it. It's not expected if that's not your culture. So like my
Okay.
culture, I'm Igbo, we don't go full on the ground, like knees on the ground when we see our elders. But the Yorubas, so in Lagos, you see people like literally like when they see their seniors, especially maybe like a governor or a senator, like the guys can go all down on the floor. So it's not expected of you. So it's not somewhere you
Mm.
need to be like, oh, how do I greet so I don't get into trouble? No, it's like you say hi, they say hi. You say good afternoon, they say good afternoon. Obviously, if you are maybe your husband is not Nigerian, but if he was Nigerian and you're going to meet his family, he will tell you how to greet them. You know what
Okay.
I mean?
So are you
Mhm.
telling me that the elders, like if my husband was Nigerian and I go meet his mom, aunt,
Oh.
I need to like go down on the floor or something? At least
If the
like kneel.
culture, like if they're like Yorubas, you need to like kneel down
Right.
and
And for
and
the
greet.
Lagos, like you in Lagos, you do you just like greet
Yorubas
maybe
are mostly like
bow?
Lagos. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
I mean, that's the thing with Africa is respect for the elders.
yes.
You know, there's a lot of respect. You don't see a kid in the road like who will try to say something against, bad
No.
talk to somebody that is an elder.
Oh, yeah. And,
There's some
and I feel
respect.
Yeah, and I think another don't is that like make sure you're always staying in reputable, especially when you don't know your way around. Make sure
Hmm.
the hotels you're staying are like I do it as well when I go to other countries, like chain hotels.
Yeah,
Like you're staying in like the Marriott or the Hilton or Sheraton, or even if it's a boutique hotel, just not going to like a village and going to that's risky
but I don't want to give my money to them.
to them.
Is there
Exactly.
like a Nigerian chain of hotel that I can
Oh,
use when I come to Nigeria so I don't have to give my money to the people that
to
already
them.
have a lot of
I
money?
know. I definitely get what you mean. So, like, they have introduced a lot of Airbnb and shortlets now. We didn't have
Yeah,
that before.
yeah.
Yes. So
Okay.
there's a whole lot of them. So obviously, when you're coming, I can always like help you with some places. I get what you mean. Like you don't because most people that stay there are coming for business meetings. So
Yeah,
it's their office that books it for them. But I
exactly.
mean, like if you're coming to Lagos now, Lagos is a stretch. The island is a stretch from Ikoyi to via Lekki, right? So
Yeah,
I will not say you should go to a hotel like in Chongote, though. It's still like, but it's really far. It's in.
yeah,
So in terms of like because you're new security things like that, there are Nigerian based hotels by Nigerian owners like in Lekki One, in Ikeja, that sort of thing, Surulere, that are still Nigerian owned places. So it's almost like make sure the place is on Google, if that makes
right.
sense.
Exactly. I
Yeah,
just wanted to tease you there. But
I
yes,
know.
if I'm going to Africa, I want to be able to spend for my people. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I love that.
So we're gonna close this chapter soon. Just one
Okay.
last question is Nigeria for everyone? Would you say that Nigeria is a place, there's some places that Cameroon is like you will hate it or you will
Mm,
love it? Because Cameroon is tough. Like if you haven't been to Africa, it's yes.
wow. Is Nigeria for everyone? I think the answer is no.
Okay.
But Nigerians are definitely for Africans.
Yeah.
And yes, definitely. And I think just like yes, because a typical African has a survival, spirit,
Yeah.
loving, because people can be on your way, like they can
Yeah.
come this close to speak to you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a communal kind of living. So
Yeah.
and then in terms of coming to Africa to Nigeria, right? Like when I mentioned coming with an open mind. So it depends on what you want to experience. So some people come to Nigeria and they're like, I've lived in the UK, I've lived in America. Just like what you said, I want to spend in Nigeria. But some people come and they're like, they want that luxury, you
Mm.
know. Yes, they want that luxury. So they go to those kind of luxury places. And I mean, you live in the UK, but you know that Africa has a light situation.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
definitely you get irritated if there is no light.
Yep.
But if
Yeah.
you come and you're going to the village, and the thing is like it's funny how white people adapt in this country more than Africans. It's
I
crazy.
know.
Because you
Yeah.
see, because they're more
Yeah.
adventurous, right? You see
Yeah.
them in the village, tying their wrapper because a lot of our uncles are married to them. So they will tie and they will like the whole, oh, no light, and they are fanning themselves with the fan.
Yeah.
because they understood what they were coming into. Then when they want to do the luxury, like if you are to live in Nigeria now, I'll tell you, oh, get your inverter, get your solar, get like four internet. But some of these stories come and they're like, I'm not interested in internet. Like I saw some white guys driving down and they were looking for the cheapest hotel, you know, like they
Yeah.
were asking for the cheapest hotel because for them they're coming to just experience, they're not coming with money.
Yes, I
They're not
traveled
coming
with
to
white a group of a lot of white people when I was in
yeah.
South Africa. We went to Namibia, Zambia, and effectively they don't spend a lot of money. They go there for the experience. They will sleep in the
Mhm.
cheapest place. They will eat in a street food. They're more adventurous, more daring that we are.
And us. Yeah,
Yes, they are.
yeah.
We went to a hotel. I was like, oh. They were like comfortable,
Yeah.
they're just there. They don't want to spend their money on accommodation. They want to spend their money
Hmm.
on the experience. So
Yeah.
we can learn from the way they
I
navigate. I've
agree.
learned a lot with them. Guys, you can go and check Serah Donal channel. I will put all her details on the description. You touch on so many amazing, very important subject on your channels. I know you have several channels. I've watched
Mhm.
several of your video and I wanted to talk to you until tomorrow because there's so much that I wanted to share with you because I resonate with everything that you're sharing. The next topic I wanted to talk to you about is back to Africa. It's because
Okay.
you lived in the US, you lived to even to the UK, and you chose and decided to come back home to Nigeria when a lot of our brothers and sisters in Africa will be dying to be able to go to live that American dream,
Great.
that
Yeah.
European dream, going to the West.